I studied finance in college. I started my first business at 15, and I've learned countless lessons on how I and others can better manage their money. I'm going to share with you common bad habits that keep people stuck in the rat race and tips on how to change them. Number 1, living beyond your means. Living beyond your means is the number one way to not build wealth. In order to build wealth, you mathematically need to spend less money than you're making. Otherwise, you'll not be able to save or invest any money. The long-term effects of living beyond your means will be depleted savings or lack thereof emergency fund, accumulating debt, which we not want to do, and financial stress. If you're currently living beyond your means, there are a few things you need to do. First and foremost, you need a budget. If you don't have a budget, there's no way for you to understand how much money you're spending on different categories, how much money you should have left over each month, and you need to tell your money where it goes. You need to have a plan for every single dollar that you make, and that will allow you to identify areas in your monthly budget to cut back on. If you don't budget, I can promise you, if you start tracking your expenses and you look back at your last 3 months of expenses, you will find that you spend more money in categories like shopping, food, travel than you expected. Those $20 shopping purchases or $30 DoorDash orders add up quickly. But when you do 10, 20, or 30 of those in a given month, they add up quickly. Number 2, lifestyle creep. A lot of people get a pay raise and instantly go and start spending all of that money. They start financing cars, going on nice vacations, or buying that dream house. Common signs that you have fallen into lifestyle creep are: you've gotten a raise, but you're still living paycheck to paycheck. You've gotten a raise and you're stressed about money. You've gotten a raise and gotten a new car or a house, which has now caused you to stress about money. First, you must recognize that you're in this position to start a process to change it. The next step is figuring out a plan to get out of it, and that involves budgeting. Set a budget, track your expenses, and cut back on the things that you don't need. If you've accumulated debt from getting a car or a house, start figuring out a plan to pay that car loan off so you can open up some monthly cash flow. And every single pay raise moving forward, set aside a percentage of that pay raise that goes towards savings and the rest go towards spending. For example, if you get a pay raise and your monthly net take-home pay goes up $500, set aside 30% of that for spending money. So $150 you can spend freely on shopping, on food, whatever it might be. The other 70%, put that towards savings. Put that towards maxing out your Roth IRA, towards a taxable brokerage account. But do not go and spend 100% of pay raise. Number 3, not being in a rush to pay off debt. Credit card debt in America is over $1 trillion now. It is climbing rapidly. My prediction is, with the holidays right around the corner, we're going to blow through $1.1 trillion of credit card debt by the end of this year. Most Americans are okay with holding debt because that's what the norm is in America, having car loans, student loans, and credit card debt. People seem to not truly understand having these debts hurt their financial future. I've spoken to numerous individuals who carry a balance of $5,000 or $10,000 on their credit cards when they have the cash in their bank account to pay for it in full. And they do this because they don't understand that they're just lighting money on fire. For example, if you have a $10,000 credit card balance that's accumulating at a 30% yearly interest rate, you'll pay roughly $3,000 of interest over that year if you just make the minimum payments. So that is costing you just under $300 a month. And if you have $20,000 in your savings account, that is growing at 3 to 5% before taxes. So by not using $10,000 from your savings to pay off that $10,000 worth of credit card debt, you're essentially just lighting $200 to $300 a month on fire and just giving it to the credit card company. To get out of debt, you need to have a plan and you need to attack it. A lot of people go through life saying, I'll make minimum payments, or I'll figure this out one day when I make more money. And this gets them in vicious cycles of carrying debt and being okay with debt, which just destroys their financial future. To get out of debt, you need a plan. And there's 2 different routes to pay off debt: the debt snowball route and the avalanche method. Personally, I'm a big fan of the debt snowball route for a few reasons. 1, you're very focused. You're going to be listing the debts from smallest to largest. So if you have a $500 debt, a $1,000 debt, and then a $3,000 debt, you're going to pay the minimums on all of them. And every extra dollar is going to go towards the smallest debt first, which would be the $500 balance. Once the $500 balance is paid off, you then go to the next payment and then the next one. This allows you to focus on the smallest balance, wipe that off the quickest, and start getting those wins to see that, okay, hey, you can pay off this debt and get out of it. So that by the time the second one is done and then the third balance, you move to the fourth one, you'll get momentum and you will say, hey, I can do this. The other route is the avalanche route, which no matter the balance on the loan, you pay the loan with the highest interest rate first. Mathematically, this will save you some money. But the issue is, if that highest interest rate debt is the largest balance, it'll take you a lot longer to see progress than if you went after the smallest balance first. So personally, I'm a huge fan of the debt snowball route. There are some instances I would be a fan of the avalanche method, but for majority of people, I think the debt snowball route is the best way to get out of debt, both psychologically and for focus. Number 4, not saving for retirement. A lot of people have the mindset that they will start saving for retirement when they get older, start making more money, and then they'll start worrying about it. This is the worst thing you can do for a few different reasons. Number one, you need to start building money habits now. Because if you find an excuse now to not save for retirement, I can promise you 10 years from now, 20 years from now, life is going to happen and you're going to find an excuse to not save for retirement then as well. Life always gets more chaotic, so you need to start instilling those habits now and start automating that. If you start those habits now, it will pay off tenfold for the rest of your life. The second thing is compound interest. Compound interest takes time to work its wonders. For example, if you're 25 years old and you're investing until you're 65 at a rate of $500 a month at a 7% rate of return, you'll have approximately $1.5 million at the age of 67. But if you wait till you're 45, you have only $312,000. So by waiting 20 years, that'll cost you about $800,000. So instead of setting aside that $500 for the 20-year time period, that's only $120,000. And that would turn into over $800,000. So the best time to start investing for the future is now. And please do not wait until you make more money or until you're older to start saving for retirement, because guess what? Life's going to happen. Emergencies are going to come up. You need to start doing that now. I don't care if it's $20 a month. Just start with something, start small, and continue to increase it as you get more comfortable. Number 5, falling into consumerism. People are often prioritizing short-term gratification over long-term financial health. Whether it is that new fancy car, that new purse, that vacation, or holiday gifts, all of these are prioritizing your short-term gratification over your long-term financial health if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're not saving and investing for your future, especially when you're financing these things. This puts you in a horrible position if you're financing consumer goods with buy now, pay later, with credit cards, with HELOCs, or anything else in between. If it is not a necessity, and that means food, shelter, and clothes on your back, and you financed it, you are destroying your financial future. Start budgeting, start seeing how much you're spending a month on different categories, and start saying no to debt. You need to think twice about taking a HELOC out of your house to go do a $50,000 kitchen renovation, or putting that extravagant European vacation on a credit card and not paying off in full. These purchases not only costing you the initial balance, but they're costing you the interest that you're paying on top of it as well. Number 6, doing what everyone else is doing. A lot of people in America glorify new fancy cars, new clothes, designer clothes, fancy vacations, or buying houses that you cannot mathematically afford, because that is what everyone else in America does. Student loans are running rampant, credit card debt is over $1 trillion, and people are buying houses with over 50% of their net income. If you follow the majority of Americans with making bad financial decisions, it will leave you broke. About 49% of Americans making over $100,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. That's why credit card debt, student loans, car loans are so high. The illusion of keeping up with the Joneses is all an illusion. It might look nice from the outside, but on the inside, that's not what real wealth is. Next time you're jealous of someone's new fancy luxury vehicle or their fancy vacation, just know a lot of these people finance them with money that they do not have to pay for it. If you want to be above average in America, you need to do the opposite of what everyone is doing, which means you need to budget your money, you need to live below your means, you need to stay out of debt or pay off debt if you're in debt, and start investing money for the long term. Number 7, no emergency fund. Less than 40% of Americans can cover a $1,000 emergency. And guess what? Emergencies happen in life. First and foremost, you need to pay off debt. And I'm a huge fan of Dave Ramsey's baby steps in terms of paying off debt in the $1,000 emergency fund. It's not a lot of money, but guess what? That's going to light a fire underneath you. It'll make you feel uncomfortable and make you figure out a path to get out of this debt as quickly as possible so you can start building an emergency fund. Once you get out of debt, then you need to start saving 3 to 6 or more months worth of expenses, because life's going to happen. Your car's going to break down, the AC unit's going to go out, the roof's going to need to be repaired, and you need to make sure that you have a cash cushion to help you during these emergencies. And emergencies are not a vacation. They are not a new luxury vehicle. They are not holiday gifts. Emergencies are life or death, to keep the lights on, the water pipe bursts, medical emergency, something that you can actually not live without. Number 8, not educating yourself. There's a lack of financial education in high schools and in colleges today in America. That's part of the reason I started the show. I was very fortunate that I took a Dave Ramsey course in my high school, and that changed the trajectory of my life when it comes to personal finances. But the lack of education in high schools and colleges is not an excuse anymore. The amount of amazing content on the internet for free is abundant. From Dave Ramsey to Ramit Sethi to Money with Katie to this channel, there are dozens of solid experts out there in the world of personal finance. But you must take action. You must educate yourself. You must start learning, reading, watching, and educating yourself all about finances. No one else is going to do it for you. No one can force you to, but you must decide. I can't force you to hit this like and subscribe button, but if you want to help America get out of debt and learn more about finances, the best single thing you can do that is free of charge is hit that like and subscribe button so more people can find this channel and more people can learn how to get out of debt and how to build wealth. If you've been living paycheck to paycheck, wondering where your money's going every single month, but have not done a single thing to educate yourself, to learn, to budget, to get out of that situation, then the only person to blame is yourself. No one is going to save you. No one is going to wipe away your debt or solve your problems. What you need to do is start taking action, start learning, and start educating yourself. These are some of the most common money mistakes and habits that people make that keep them stuck in the rat race. You must start changing today, and your future self will thank you.